Welcome, everybody, to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
You better be praying to God because, you're 14 and losses in a row. You're going to need Jesus.
Am I wrong?
I thought you were pretty wrong, yeah.
Welcome to the Journeymen Lounge podcast.
We spared no expense.
Spared no expense.
Fuck yeah. That's great. That was a great one. We are
Look like John
coming
Hammond. I love it.
at you. Jurassic Park. A little reference over there for the ones that don't know. But just Google it because he looks exactly like it. And then we got, in the middle, we got Clark Kent.
I feel like I look like Clark Kent or like PS2 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man game.
Yeah, I could see a little bit.
I can see that. That could play.
Yeah.
I mean, also, you could definitely be like Ralph from accounting. Like, you got a little bit.
I thought you were going to say Ralph from A Christmas Story there for a second. I was like, okay.
Nah.
I'm like, I don't know about that. But
No, that'd be a stretch.
He's got kind of the more, like, I think, circular.
he does have blue eyes, though. So I was like, well, I guess.
That's true.
Baby blues. But yeah, so we're coming at you on a hot July day.
Yeah, I spent 10 days of this 90-degree weather.
Well, you're explaining your attire here.
Right.
You definitely look like it's 90 degrees out. Maybe in Bora Bora, but not in.
I look like a tourist. I don't care. I love it.
And Isla Nublar. Oh, speaking
Bobby, I'm sorry. Can you just do for me real quick? Can you go, the Germans? Or say, I am from Argentina.
I am from Argentina.
Yeah, you look like a guy from Germany that fucking landed in Argentina.
Das ist gut, ja.
Or he's like
I am not German.
He's like, what's his face? The rival explorer in the Raiders of the Lost Ark who's going against Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Belloc.
Yeah.
There it is.
Anyways, good, if I can, segue, since he looks like John Hammond, really quick. I just wanted to mention, I saw the new Jurassic World yesterday.
Oh,
Okay.
thoughts.
Ryan's
I saw two movies.
Movie reel.
Talk about Jurassic
Ryan's
World.
reel.
He always does it back to back.
Yeah. So Jurassic World Rebirth is what it's called. It's a standalone sequel to the Jurassic World trilogy before. So it's not part of it, but technically it takes place in the same universe, but nobody from the previous movies are in this.
Interesting.
Yes, Woj.
Before, again, might have not mentioned, I know we introduced ourselves on the bonus segment,
Right.
which may or may not be released before this, may be interspersed, but I am
Okay.
Woj. This is Ryan.
Ahoy,
I'm
hoy.
John
And
Hammond.
that's Bobby on the end, for those of you who don't know. So, Ryan's Reels, I think this is
It's a good segment.
pretty common thing. I do have a question on, you said it's a standalone film.
Standalone sequel.
Sorry. But in terms of the relationship, the main character is Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
What is her connection to the island? Is she just simply a new character?
The story's kind of I don't know if you guys saw the Jurassic World trilogy or not.
I don't want you to give too much spoilers.
I'm not saying
No,
you got
it's not.
I'm just asking for the connection.
Well, that's what I'm trying to see if you have how much I have to explain because I don't know if you've seen
I've seen everything.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, fine. So you know that in the second in Fallen Kingdom or whatever, at the end of the movie, that little clone girl released all of them into the
Yes.
world,
Right.
and then they're in the
At the
world in the
auctions.
third one,
Okay.
or whatever. Right? They're all just there, out and about. So in this movie, I believe it takes place technically 5 years after the events of number 3.
Okay.
And the dinosaurs are still in the world, however, not as many because of the atmosphere or something. Which
The oxygen.
the oxygen level. So
yeah, no,
they
right.
said in a pre-title thing that the best place that most of them have migrated to is around the equator.
Okay.
So like certain islands along there, and that travel is forbidden there because they don't want people interacting with the dinosaurs because they've seen how bad it is. However, there are occasional dinosaurs, like in the beginning, the guy's driving in New York and there's like a traffic jam because there's a brontosaurus that's like blocking the way. But I guess when they find them, I don't know if they send them to the equator or they do something with them. But they're not as many around is the point. And they're all in this specific set of islands around the equator.
Okay.
Most of them,
So Scarlett Johansson's character is supposed to be like a mercenary of sorts.
Okay.
It kind of fits her role with the whole Marvel thing.
I mean, yeah, I'll get into it a little bit, but yeah, she is like you need a job done, someone to get something.
She's the A-team.
She's
I
the lady. So this guy who's like typically in this movie, like a rich guy's trying to sell something using dinosaur DNA. So he needs blood from these 3 different dinosaurs while they're alive, while they're living. It's okay to keep the blood fresh, so they can use this for like heart medicine, to like revolutionize heart medicine or something. It's like $1 billion.
Seems like
thing.
a front, but okay, yeah.
No, it's a real thing. It's
Okay.
like, but so he needs Scarlett Johansson to take him and a crew to the islands, as I said, where the dinosaurs are, to extract these things.
Right.
One, she's like a mercenary. One guy's like a paleontologist, doctor guy. And then she has like a crew of people they meet towards the area, which is Mahershala Ali's one of them. And Ed Skrein, he's the guy from Deadpool, the villain. Yep. He's in it, and they're part of the crew. So they're like tasked with going to this region to extract these things. Then there's also another family who was like fishing or something in the area. They get involved because their boat gets turned over, and then they have to get rescued by them. And now they're one group, and they're all like going towards this island, which used to house dinosaurs for. They were doing experiments on like mutated experiments where they're combining the
mutations
DNA
of
different dinosaurs, like this a pterodactyl and a raptor, for example.
Okay,
making a flying raptor basically.
Well, I think raptor in itself.
I get it.
So anyway, they go along. They're trying to get the 3 things, and they go to this island. It's like a bunch of scary, like dinosaur kills people or doesn't. There's like some suspense. As far as the movie goes. It's like decent. I don't know. It's like I would say I think it's better than the last 2. Better than Fallen Kingdom and better than Dominion, which I didn't like either of those. But in relationship to the whole Jurassic Park franchise, it's probably like 5th best.
Okay. Can I add a maybe clarifying question?
Yes.
Of Jurassic Park in general?
Sure.
Is there not a fatigue factor of the amount of films at this point?
I'm always interested to see it just because like the first one's so good and like the concept is so cool. But I think like I was hoping they were going to do with this movie, they need to lean less into the family friendly stuff and more into the horror aspect of it, where it's like
suspense.
These things are going to fucking kill you.
That's why the first one was so great.
Right. They had a perfect balance of the 2.
Right.
This one, they're like, it's more back to basics, which is good. It's like cool, they're on an island, but like the characters are very
PG.
Bland. Yeah. No one's memorable.
And I think what you pointed on something is like almost like this fatigue, but also the idea of they're starting to make dinosaurs now that are basically mythological creatures, like stuff like from what it's like
the one.
What degree? At what point? Guess what? That thing can't exist. Your DNA doesn't alter to the point where
you have to buy.
John Woo must be Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, dude. But if you have to literally buy into the idea that
I know, but at some point it's like, does it become too abstract?
No, I think that part is fine because that's the excitement of like what's new. Because if you just did a T-Rex versus a Velociraptor 10 times, everybody's tired of it. So you have to introduce these new things. I'm just thinking of it's getting to the point where because it's so far removed. Like I remember in probably the second of the next. Second generation, whatever you call it, they're still trying to piece connections back.
Sure.
Now, like the connections are so faint because it's now 7 movies between or 6 movies between these other 2.
Yeah, I had no problem with the mutated dinosaurs. It's actually cool. Some of it, like the one main one, it kind of looked like a xenomorph combined with like a giant T-Rex or something.
Okay.
I don't know, but like. The problem is they didn't really show it enough. It didn't have enough of an impact on the movie till the end, and even then it was minimal. Like this, and the moments of suspense are cut very short, and they don't feel as suspenseful as they could.
Pretty much failure to launch. They really don't.
Is it worse thing in the theater? I think if you got nothing to do,
Jurassic Park is always good in the theater.
I would say yes, but like go in with lower expectations. Don't.
Okay.
But it's like I don't know. I would say like a 6 to 7 out of 10. Like it's like for me it's like probably like 5th. In the whole Jurassic
5
Park,
out of 7 is not great.
Right, I don't know. Like I like the first one the best, probably. I like the Jurassic World, the 2015 one, probably second, and then like Jurassic Park 3, then probably Lost World, then this, or maybe I could.
You're right. That actually checks.
Maybe I could flip Lost World in this, but probably Lost World's probably better. Honestly, I don't know. Like,
all right.
had a good idea, but didn't necessarily execute it. They need to, like I said, lean more into the tension. More into the horror. Make an R-rated Jurassic Park.
Right.
Finally.
They don't want to do that though.
I'd probably go,
a lot of studios don't want to do that.
I'd probably go 1, 2.
You put 2 right out of the gate, huh?
1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6. Is that what you said?
I said 1, 4, 3, 2. This one, 5, 6.
Okay.
I'm with him on that scale. I think that's about accurate on my feelings.
Yeah. So I think it's fun to go check it out. But like I said,
Right,
just lower your
Jurassic.
expectations.
Yeah.
Action movie.
Better than the last two, at least.
And what was the other movie that you saw?
I saw 28 Years Later.
The fuck is that?
That's the sequel to the they had 28 Days Later, then
It's
28
the
weeks
trilogy.
later.
Trilogy of
Third
Oh
one.
my
It's
God.
like the
Third
like zombie kind
Right,
of.
right. Okay, I understand. Yeah.
Well, technically they're filled with the rage.
28
virus.
Days Later, great.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not, actually wasn't super familiar with this franchise. I just watched it because
good flicks.
because this movie looked good, so I watched all of them. First one's pretty good. Second one I thought was decent. This one, could take it or leave it, honestly.
Okay.
Cool ideas, but very inconsistent. It was almost like three movies in one or three parts in one. Like there wasn't like a consistent narrative. I liked it less than Jurassic World. I would probably skip that one unless you're like a big fan of the.
I don't think
franchise.
it's a large franchise. I think
Yeah.
they're just kind of honestly they're Hollywood capitalization.
You know, for me, guys, I got the AMC A list, so like I said, I get like 4 a week, every week, any format. So might as well take advantage of it.
I mean, hey man,
Summer's
we
the best
enjoy.
time.
We absolutely
AC
enjoy.
blasting with your popcorn, you're set.
Yeah, we absolutely enjoy that you are critiquing the film so minutely, which you really. I mean, we do it in a longer version in the movie review, but like you're given like a solid like 230, basically like should you see it or not, which I
like
think
it,
is
though,
what
yeah.
people definitely want to see. Now I'm just spitballing here. We might be
Go
putting
see F1. That's fucking amazing.
I'm excited for that one. I'm going to
that,
check that out in the theaters.
we might be putting that into like an Instagram clip of just
Sure.
like Ryan's
And then-
reels here.
Sure. And then Superman next week. Really excited to see that. And then Fantastic Four a few weeks from there, after a couple weeks after that. So
Ryan's got it on the calendar.
yeah.
All right, so let's get into the
Dive on in.
I'm gonna just say Cubs are currently they're doing okay. A lot of season left. All-Star break. We'll see what happens.
Kyle's at the game right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did
Is that
send
a
out
Cub game right
text.
now?
He is.
Are they playing what, Boston or something?
I have no idea, Bobby.
Oh.
Sorry,
I thought you guys were the Cub
I'm a
fans.
Sox fan. No.
They're playing the
Oh,
Guardians.
I know you're not. Yeah, the
Guardians.
Guardians.
So
Yeah.
again, shout out Kyle. But again, I just mentioned Cubs are a lot of time left, so we're gonna wait
That'll be
to
a fun
kind
game
of
to be
maybe
at.
talk a little bit more later on. Let's just get into the album review.
Sure.
I'm gonna say I took a swing, not knowing the catalog. I like the group Atmosphere. That is definitely they have some hits of theirs that I very much enjoy. But I really forgot that it's possible that you could not have all the hits on one album. So I would recommend, just before we get into the review, that you would go and check out their other shit, their other albums as
All
well,
right.
because there are some really great songs on those. I just was not really familiar with this one. I basically picked this album because there was
like it, though.
one song that
Hey, you're swinging. I like it. I
All
do
right,
that all
so-
the time.
Swinging,
Quick
baby.
background: Atmosphere, American hip hop duo from Minneapolis. Rapper Slug, Sean Daly, and DJ producer Anthony Davis. In '96, they've released 13 albums so far. So they've definitely been throwing some stuff out. I just asked you, have you guys heard of Atmosphere before
I think I have I think someone played them at work. I know I had one of their songs on my like list, but
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with. I thought it was one person, honestly. So
Okay.
now I know it's a duo.
And Bobby, any?
Not at all. So this would
Okay.
be my first exposure to this band. Now, I think maybe one of the songs might have been familiar, but not like something
Sure.
that I would remember.
Okay.
You know? Okay.
So I've picked them up probably college days.
That
maybe even-
checks with the release
maybe
date.
maybe even a little bit before that, but probably college. And again, I love the group. Some of these songs were good, and we'll discuss that right now.
I got my notes. I'm ready.
Track listing real quick. Until the Nipple's Gone, The Major Leagues, Scalp, Best Day, AmeriCareful, Hope, The Loser Wins, Shotgun Commodities, The Number None, Free Falling to All My Friends. Total length 40 minutes. Look quick hitter.
It was quick.
Really wasn't a drawn out one. So the first one, they open up with Until the Nipple's Gone. which Bobby, you're a lyrical guy. Did you pick up any lyrics in that one that are?
Here are my notes on this, and that one actually, I think I struggled to connect the lyrics, or like I didn't like Google the lyrics, so maybe this was. But I said 44 seconds of lead up before any lyrics are sung. Feels like Beck meets Linkin Park meets the Beastie Boys meets Ice Cube meets Will Smith and Bollywood intro. It sounded like something from India.
The intro wasn't Bollywood. But
okay, well, I'm just saying you slap that in India. I don't think that they're really going to have much of a jolt.
I'm just stating a fact. I would just say it was more Middle Eastern. Was at the last like minute or so of the song. The first beat. I'm just saying because I actually have a counterpoint. The first
counterpoint.
The first part of the beat, I actually equated that more to like 90s, 2000s action movie type of. It's not obviously from something, but it seems at least similar enough to like you could see a 90s or early 2000s movie like using that as like in the action sequences they're doing something. I thought that beat was good enough until the Middle Eastern part where I'm like, what? You're ruining like a pretty good song. Now I'm not saying it was great. I'd probably give it a 3.5.
I put 2.5 out of 5.
But like the last 45 seconds, minute just ruined it. It just like drove off a cliff. And I'm like, God damn, why'd you fuck that up?
I thought there was too much lead up. There was 44 seconds before anything was said. Like I don't mind a lead up, but for your first song, 44 seconds of instrumental, it's too much.
Right.
I gave it a 3. I'm not gonna lie. This it's an interesting listen for me. Like the whole album.
It was.
Well, like I didn't hate it, but I didn't like always like it. But it wasn't like bad. Like I don't know. Like it's kind of like let me say like I think he has good stuff in the songs, but like he doesn't. They're not necessarily like hits, if you will, or like always, or like they're more, I don't know, like kind of like background music to me, where it's like if I'm doing something like cleaning or.
So I would jump in just to say that the overall style of Atmosphere is very like this thing. I just kind of thought of it. I'm sure it's a thing out there, but it's a negative rap. Okay, so it's negative rap. It's like he's explaining shitty things happening to him or blah blah blah. That's really the whole shtick of the group. And I would say, to piggyback off you, man, I think there's a lot of songs where the beat and the lyrics they're not cohesive.
Yeah.
They don't go in the same, like, yes, he's in time, he's in rhythm with it.
Right. There's good sequence, but there isn't good collaboration between it.
To me, don't fit together well enough.
I was going to say, yeah, like, I feel like he's got good stuff to say, but he needs better beats behind it. Like, sometimes, some of them, not all of them, or some of them the opposite, like you said, where it's like, where the beat's good, but the things he's saying is not as good. Like, it's not like, it's kind of like when you golf and like you can drive well, but you can't putt or something,
Okay.
That's a good analogy. I like it.
All right, so moving on, the major leagues. Again, I definitely enjoy the beats. I actually wrote this down because I was proud of myself for kind of like analyzing this, but I was like, the hook lyrics were an interesting rhyme pattern in which you wouldn't expect some words to flow that easily. It was like, such temptation, what's the basis, cutthroat major, tuck the razor. Like, they don't, like they definitely
like that
rhyme,
ABCA
but like
type
major
of thing.
and razor like are not. I mean, yes, they rhyme, but it's like it's not something you.
No, but you're right. I kind of like that like sequence that like
It just kind of goes together well, and that was I like the hook. I intend to like the song more, so I gave that one a 4.
Same here. I said guitar distortion helps build the mood, while the dark kind of drug story lyrics speaks volumes. I think this is one of their better hits, if not one of the best ones on here.
Negative.
No, I like this one more than the first one.
Okay.
I gave it a 3.5 to 4, so like 3.75.
Okay.
Put the cool guitar with the beat with the piano mixed in. I always like when there's piano. If you get the piano in there, I'm usually
they have another one.
I'm usually in it. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Scalp. There is a lethargic call and response rap that is very reminiscent of the 90s. So I'm a huge 90s fan of rap, hip hop, anything from that era. I know that a lot of people definitely like key in and also into the end of the 90s. Like it's a very slow rap, and at times it can be very juvenile. I got the lotion, and then I'm gonna get the potion. Like it's very. Juvenile. I actually really like that. I like the call and response. One of my favorite songs of all time. I don't give a shit if people hate it. Positive K. I Got a Man. Like, it's a call and response between him and a girl. I think it's a great song. I like that vibe. So for
it's a good song, man. Not knocking that
for
one.
this song, I would say definitely, again, like another 3.5, 4. And I just love the line. It's like, oh, we're over at blah. It's like, it's called Shh, Don't Be a Snitch.
That was kind of cool. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, what you got?
For me, it was kind of forgettable, honestly.
Okay.
I didn't like. It's fine. Like, I don't. Nothing on this album I really like hated, but to me, it was like I could take it or leave it. I gave it a 2.5.
I also gave it 2.5. Delivery Boy, who got T-boned as the music fades out, kind of anticlimactic, and now he's arrested with drugs. So there you go.
I mean, a lot of their songs did
no,
tell
but you're
stories.
right. You mentioned that right away. That like all negative rap. It really is. A lot of this stuff is just
also,
horrible
I would
shit.
say that maybe for me too, I only listened to this once. Maybe it would help me again if this is one of those where I've heard more than one time to really get the whole story and all the songs.
It actually, I think, would be one of those.
Like, because I'm trying, but sometimes you can't always get everything, absorb everything at like
quick.
Takes a few reps.
Yeah.
Quick question. So when you guys are listening to an album for this purpose of the podcast, when you listen to an album for the first time, or even a group for the first time, do you find yourself repeating the songs that you did like you actually listen to those more? Because that's what I do.
Sometimes I'll do that.
I will normally go, hey, I actually really enjoyed this song. I'm going to listen to it a couple more times. There are a lot of forgettable tracks that I'm just like one and done. But I at least try and repeat the ones that I enjoy.
No, I would agree with that. And sometimes I'll even try like giving like even the ones I didn't like a replay and just kind of like skip through it a little bit, like go through it like.
Got a snake over
I was gonna say skim through it, skip through it, like where it's like,
and he's gone.
Why didn't I like it, or what does it sound like really quick to like refresh my brain? Like, okay, now I remember because of so and so. But yeah, the ones I like for sure, I'll definitely especially probably ones that if I'm preparing the review for the album, I'll definitely probably listen to it a couple times to make sure I have everything.
No, Woj is right. The ones that really like stand out on an album that I enjoy, I'll listen to it just finished. All right, let me one more time.
I just find myself going back to it later in the day and be like, oh yeah, I did fucking like
and sometimes too for like my like grades, I'll have to go back like, okay, well I gave that a 3. Is this better than that? And then I'll like listen to the okay, well maybe not.
You're just I like that. Objective and just. All right, let me revisit something I might. Yeah, okay, cool.
All right,
next one.
So I brought that up because this song was the reason why I chose the album. I've heard it multiple times. It is, in my opinion, a certified banger. And this is also one of those songs where, again, I listened to it for it just came up on a music streaming service, and I just like, okay, I fucking love this. But I will mention, this is, to me, their quintessential song. It is a negative rap. It is kind of like a lethargic... A little bit more on the lethargic type of rap, and it's also kind of telling the story of just like, hey, what happened was this is shit, man. It's just fucking, this is life. But go ahead, somebody.
Yeah, this is the best one on the album for sure. I think the piano beat's really catchy, and the chorus is actually good. Put the best and the most polished chorus thus far of the album. It's like a 4.25 for me. 4.25 stars.
4.25.
I'm on the opposite end here. So I do think that the chorus, I think that some of the stuff that was done right, but like I said, this whole album, it was challenging for me. I'll just say challenging because I wasn't aware that this was such a negative rap thing until I started listening to more and more of the tracks as we progressed. So like I said, I think this is something that I would need to listen to a few times to get a better appreciation for the actual music, but it's just tough. So this is what I wrote on this. This was first, I try to write down in a moment. I'm listening to it, so it's all fresh. But this one, I said, so everything bad you possibly conceive could happen, but chin up and don't procrastinate. It sends such a weird message. Now, granted, have we all felt like this at some point? Sure, but I gave this 1.5 out of 5. This one for me, like I said, I thought there were some good parts, but I couldn't wrap my head around this negative rap.
If I'm being honest, man, if you're not a fan of negative rap, then this group is absolutely not for you. Which is your opinion, man.
Right, so this is why I said it's more challenging, but I'm trying. I tried. I really was like, let me try to wrap my head around this and enjoy some of the musical efforts being done, some of the lyrics, but This one for me was the opposite end for me.
Sure. Again, Bobby, like it's fine to not like an album or whatever. But again, at least you're coming with like, this is why I don't like it. Right. So again, there's no problem. If I have a problem with anybody just going like, that's bad because it sucks. Yeah, well, explain why it sucks, and you just simply explain like, I don't love the negativity.
So, like I said, the negative rap, I haven't really.
So the rest of the album is probably gonna be pretty rough because it's just
there's a few that I actually really enjoyed. So, like I said, there's a lot that I didn't.
Again, this is my certified banger.
Of this album, yes.
Of this album, I would say they probably have around like 5 to 6 like absolute hits. This is definitely one that makes that list for sure. Moving on, we have America Careful, and I'll be honest, man.
Skip.
Again, didn't know the album fully when I chose it. I got an education, and this is just where it goes downhill fast. I said kind of shit, just not. It just started to become a very much like, oh, this is not all that you can do, but on this album, it's a lot of the same shit. It's kind of similar beat. Then it's got this same type of tempo, rap, like all the tempo of the song until like 1 or 2 songs later. Everything was so slow and just like it's not doing it for me.
Yeah, I give it like a 2.5.
1.5 for me.
It's fine. I don't.
What you got, Bob?
I said, how to defraud hospitals with random words and phrases like almost something out of like slam poetry, explaining that healthcare is expensive and being a whore has consequences. The beat is all right, but 1 out of 5. I'd skip this.
So, Bobby, again, you're keying on... Bobby's a lyrics guy, so he keys on the lyrics.
I really do.
And again, I'm not in a bad way at all.
No, I get it.
But you are picking apart the lyrics to specifically this is what I don't like this part of it.
No, but I said the beat was all right. It's just it couldn't. The beat did not save this thing one iota. That's
fair
all.
point. Moving on, Hope, not great, same tempo.
Yep.
I do just like the one lyric where it's like it's not even a lyric, but it's like a guy just shouting, just like, "You suck, dude."
That was funny. I enjoyed that. It made me smile.
I liked it a little more than the other one. I gave it a 3.5. But again, a lot of this is kind of like in one ear, not the other, kind of like where it's like it didn't stick. It didn't like I didn't absorb it. Like I don't know. Like it wasn't memorable. Like I was trying to come up with like good notes for it, and I was kind of having trouble. As I'm like, I don't really know what exactly I don't like about it. I just know that it's like it's okay. I don't know.
It's a different style, right? It's something that you have to be like accustomed to.
It's like I have like mixed emotions about it because like the content when he's saying and stuff, it's and the way he says it, it's a lot of times like okay, but then it's like I don't know, but the beat's kind of like a malaise. I don't like it just.
Ooh, good word.
Look at this guy, thesaurus. I love it.
I would just kind of think that the songs that doesn't really stick or like it's just like not great. A listen, and again, I'm not saying the song is great in any means. I would just say giving it a listen when you're kind of like at your place or you're on like a couch chilling out.
That's the right environment.
I feel like you kind of have to figure out what the song does for you or like where you like it. Like I would never be putting this song on and be like, yo, we're at a party. All right, atmosphere, dude. I got you. You'd be like, no.
Nah,
you'd be booed out of the room.
I put on my headphones and listen to it, and usually I'll play like a game or something.
Okay.
But, like I'm focused on... both things, like, I don't know, it helps me, like...
He can multitask?
Well, yeah, but I'll pause it, like, the game, and then I'll be like, okay, notes on, like, why did I like it? What about the song?
This one, right, we're still talking about Hope. I felt like this was, like, I felt gangster, but I was, like, Boston, not Compton gangster. Way of saying wish you the best stretched over 3.5 minutes. I thought it had a cool riff. I gave it 2 out of 5. Yeah, it's not as bad as one before, but still kind of hurt.
Moving on, the loser wins. Again, decent beat. And we were talking about this before. The beat and the lyrics just missed the mark. Mm-hmm. And then, again, it's very similar to what the song was before. And I would say, like, with a group, like, I definitely want, if, like, for, like, let's just use an example, Blink-182, they do one thing extremely well. So I want to hear that. But guess what? I also want to hear their other shit that they could also do well. That is more, change of tempo, whatever.
Sure.
This was kind of like a one-trick pony that pretty much the whole album.
Very Korn-esque, I guess. Because that's all they know how to do.
Yeah, but this one didn't suck so much dick. So
easy now. So this one,
Bobby, you sit there with a straight face.
No,
honestly,
that was rough. It was rough.
Corner
it was
this
rough.
one.
I did that because my buddy Gooby, love you Scott, but I was like, all right, let's give this album a real try. You know, I threw it out there, taking some swings, and it's all right. It just for us it didn't work out, but that's fine. But this one, like you mentioned, had better lyrics. Kind of the rise and fall, some leader and killing off some disloyal members, but. 3 out of 5. I actually like the lyrics. The lyrics kept me on this one.
Gotcha.
I went 3.5.
There you go.
Ryan, that's literally the only comment.
I told you it was hard for me to just for some of these
3.5.
Like
no other words.
It's very very run of the mill. Like
yeah, okay.
I don't know, like
okay,
kind of like assembly line, like to me. Like,
assembly line.
Fair.
Or like it didn't stand out. Let's put it that way.
That was a good one. All right, so this is like it went. Honestly, for me, it just went from bad to worse. I was on board. I was digging, okay. The first couple songs were good enough to make me go okay, the rest of the album is gonna go. I'm a flow guy, by the way.
You are.
And it gets to this point where the end of, I'm sorry, did I say Commodities?
No, we're on Shotgun.
We're on Shotgun. Sorry. So for Shotgun, it starts with this whatever bullshit, same shit, again, carbon copy. And then they get experimental at the end with I think it was actually a little bit more distortion. Mm-hmm. Could be referencing a Run song, but more distortion, a little different tempo beat. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. You change tempos, let's see what it is. This coupled with the next song, they just basically went into the same beat at the end of this song. So I just fucking started going 2 songs back to back where you just jumped off a cliff. It just this one was bad, and then the next one I was like, "What the fuck am I listening to?" So I got a 2 on this one, and then I went down to a 1 on the next one.
Okay,
so only skip of the album.
Shotgun is your skip. You said
Shotgun is a skip, but I'm saying it was a package deal. I had to talk about loser wins going into Shotgun.
I gave it again a 3. Last 3 I all had 3.5s on. They all kind of were similar. This one I did have a note. Cool breakdown at the end of the beat. So I think toward the end of the song they did some little breaking down of the beat.
I said incredible rhymes. The guy rapping right out of the gate on this one. So it came out firing with a solid refrain, and the fade out and beat closing it works. So I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought this was one of their better ones.
Okay.
I also have one more note. I'd rather listen to Shotgun from Junior Walker and the All-Stars. We did Misery.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry.
All right. So again, into Shotgun. Everybody said Shotgun.
Yeah, Shotgun. Yeah. I enjoyed it, but Commodities.
All right. So Commodities. I said loser wins, but we already talked about that one. Shotgun to Commodities. That was the bullshit.
That's your combo up here. I hated Commodities.
I didn't mind it, actually. I gave it a slightly tick better than the other 3 at a 3.75. But interesting up-tempo beat. But, I mean, again, it's not like it's going to stand test of time for me or anything.
Right.
But,
So it went off the deep end, and this is where the flow is bad, okay? So let me just tell you how the flow goes, right? So you want a nice, this is smooth, right? Nobody's looking at my hand. This is what you want.
Right.
Yeah,
mister.
This went okay, it was good, fucking certified banger, and then just slow descent, rock bottom. Then it saves it with this next one. The number none to me, I go certified banger. This is what I'm talking about. This is the good piano hook, some singing in the chorus in there, and then not just straight rapping. The lyrics can be a little juvenile in that, but I'm still this is your bread and butter.
I'm going to echo Woj really quick. I also like this song. It's probably my second favorite. Again, love the piano, and it's catchier. I gave it 4. The other one I gave 4.2. So
sure.
These
two intensive points.
These 2 to me were the best of the album.
Okay.
For me.
Same.
All right. So to your point, I think that the instrumentals on this and the beat, I think that you had a gold label on it, right?
Sure.
It's takes it up a notch.
Right, but I said piano and guitar combo knocks it out. But these lyrics about teenage love are messed up. You got friend zoned and your homie hits on day 1. You're pissed that someone's fucking with your ex. You're a fucking pussy. 1 out of 5.
Okay, you don't like the content.
I don't
That's
like.
what
I'm
gonna
saying
say.
they had the instrumentals. They had a beat, and they just threw up with the lyrics.
So again, it's not a negative. I'm just saying though, you do not like the content.
No, I didn't like. He's like, oh my penis.
Again,
I'm like,
that's fine. Again, I did say juvenile, but I respect your opinion.
I'm just
though,
saying
that
they had
it is,
so much there going for it, and then I started hearing the lyrics. I'm like, like
gotcha.
immediately, I was like, all right, I lost interest immediately. So you're right. I'm a lyric-based guy, 100%.
But I'm saying the content of this
Yes,
is specifically why, because you're mentioning everything else is good. It's
yeah,
just
I
that
loved it.
part
I loved
false.
everything else
I got you.
until the guy had his,
I got you.
run through that
The
shit.
last two. We got
liked the last
Free
two.
Fallin'.
Yeah.
I thought better hook, solid song, 3.5.
Again, I prefer Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers version.
Agreed.
But that'd be a.
I was actually curious if it was going to be a cover when I first saw it.
I wish it was a cover.
I didn't like it. This is my least favorite.
Didn't like
one
it?
and a half. For
Ooh.
me. I did not care for
Okay,
that.
so I said twangy guitar riff with some good lyrics delivered with a smooth rhythm. Refrain is lacking, but I really enjoyed this one. 3.5.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, I think we have had the most back and forth like on this album compared to any other albums.
Yeah, different. Everybody's got.
Everyone's all over the place. Yeah. There's no consistency.
There's no mean.
All right, then to all my friends.
I thought solid song in that it's simplistic in nature. It also this is also where I definitely enjoyed the content. It told a story, and it honestly, I'm assuming that this was really like his love story or like telling his story in general of like
Yes.
this is what I wanted to be when I was younger, and I made it. I fucking am doing what I want to.
I wish they would have started with this.
It could have been a good song to start with, but I think in terms of what the flow maybe was trying to go for was like a closure.
Right.
of
No,
like
I
saying,
can understand that.
I started here, and now I'm here, and this is fucking awesome. And then, honestly, this album was, I think, 2010. So 2010. So
September.
like they already got 14 years in.
Yeah.
So like this is definitely one of their later works, and I mean, again, I don't know if they've really released anything recently, but probably should have researched it.
I got 2.5 from me. This is fine again. I don't have much to say about it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was
Okay.
mediocre.
I got my one real thing. I said you don't tell a cowboy what to do. I really like that lyric. I think that spoke volumes. And then you hear more professions or more, people, that he brought up. But it's like I said, whoever's running this track, I wrote this. Whoever like put together this track, they had the creative, decisions. Should have more time behind the mic on this album. Great lyrics and flow to close the album. 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I really thought that one really stood out.
Hell yeah, man.
All
it
right.
was a
Atmosphere. Done.
Long album title also.
Yeah, I know. This sounds something like, dude, you should call a therapist.
I
To all my
honestly-
friends, blood makes the blade holy.
I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning. My bad, team.
That's okay. No, I think it's shortened version is to all my friends, which, leave it at that.
But I'm
Just
saying
leave it at
that's the entire album. It'll be in the description, all that bullshit. But yeah, I will say that I will, if I'm going to choose an album next, I'm either going to go absolutely, I've never heard this entire album, none of the songs.
You're taking some swings. I dig it.
Because again, I just didn't like the feel of going like, oh, this one song was why I did. Now again, found a gem in None of My Friends, I think. No, None of My something. None of To All My No. Number None. Sorry. Number None was a solid gem that I found that I will listen to in the future. But yeah, overall, hey man, at least it wasn't fucking Outkast. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's on the bottom half.
But the 3 good ones on Outkast were tremendous.
Well, I mean, tremendous.
You know what I mean?
Superb.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right.
So I believe
Who's up next?
Me.
What you got?
Run it.
So I'm gonna try not to go rap this week. I've gone rap a lot. I'm trying to not.
You're a rap fan.
Yeah, I know. We get it.
And I know them the best. Seriously, like when you got, I don't know about your personal choice when you chose albums. For me, I like to do one that I have experience with, that I've I've listened to, have a good feel for it, and want to share with you guys, if you will. So I'm gonna go with one of my old favorites, my favorite bands. We've actually done one of their albums for.
Yeah, we did.
We're gonna do Blink-182. Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Oh, what a
great album!
That's
I'm
good.
super excited. I'm gonna be playing this on
So,
repeat.
Yeah, I wanted to go rock this time, and
You are looking a little Blink-182-ish,
Yeah,
honestly.
right, bassist.
I will be getting a haircut hopefully before next
Whoever the
pod.
guy got the fucking glasses.
But yeah, I'm excited. So this is one of my favorite albums from them. So, and I've listened to it countless times.
Same.
So.
This is gonna be great.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited for this one.
All right, fuck yeah. We'll do that next one. Let's take a quick break.
Yep.
Come back. Movie review, trifecta.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
It's going to be a good one.
So,
All right.
Let's
Keep
fucking
it
do
posted.
Peace.
Day pow pow poof, poof, ah, ah. Dun, 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 chick, chicka, chicka.
Day bow bow.
Welcome back to the Journeymen Lounge podcast. I am your host, Ryan. To my left, Bobberino, aka Bobby. To my further left, Wojankowski. Just kidding, Wojmeister.
They're going to say Woj
Woj
cock. I
bombs.
was like, come on, man.
So we're coming back to you, and we for our movie review segment, which we are doing 80s month or week. So
80s
there's only three of us. So
No, the 80s trifecta.
So Woj last week did Breakfast Club, John Hughes. I'm doing another John Hughes movie. My probably second favorite. I like Uncle Buck a little more, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Quick facts about it. It was released in 1986. It's written, co-produced, and directed by John Hughes.
I mean, he's churning them out.
Yeah, this is like prime Hughes right here.
Breakfast Club was 95.
85.
This guy owned
yeah.
a decade.
85,
So,
86.
like, yeah, literally, he went from Pretty in Pink to Breakfast Club to Ferris Bueller's Day Off to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
He crushed
to
it.
something to Uncle Buck. Like, you know, it's just like, guy's on a heater, ultimate heater right now.
Guy's on a heater.
Film stars Matthew Broderick as the titular character of
There you
Ferris
go.
Bueller. Mia Sara as his girlfriend Sloane.
Yeah.
Alan Ruck as Cameron, his best friend, with supporting roles played by Jennifer Grey, who plays his sister Jeannie.
Jeannie. I love Jeannie in
And
this.
you got Jeffrey Jones. I believe that's his father.
That's the principal.
Or his principal. Sorry.
Principal, yeah.
Sorry, his the principal.
Rooney.
Cindy Pickett, I believe, is his mom. I'm pretty sure.
She has all of just a few.
Edie McClung
scenes.
is the secretary.
Edie's great.
Grace,
Yeah,
who
Grace
you'll
is
recognize her
great.
from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, is the counter woman who
Yep.
Steve Martin yells the F word at, and she says, "You're fucked." And she's in many other things, of course, as well.
I loved her.
Lyman Ward, I believe, is the father. No, Ferris' father. And then Charlie Sheen makes a cameo appearance at the end as a roughneck, I don't know, a
About to be arrested.
juvenile delinquent of some
delinquent,
sort.
Yeah.
So basically, I just want to say also, budget of $5 million, made $70.7 million.
Woo!
Released June 11th of '86. And quick summary of the movie is basically, it's about a charismatic high schooler slacker named Ferris Bueller. He skips school with his best friend Cameron and his girlfriend Sloane for the day, and they go to Chicago and they do many things. They go to a Cubs game, I believe the Art Institute or the Museum of, right?
Yeah.
Art Institute, yeah.
There's a parade where he sings. They go to a restaurant. They go to the Sears Tower. Basically every Chicago thing you could think of, they do, and
they're doing it in a Ferrari
and
too.
they take advantage of the day, and they want to go out. And he breaks the fourth wall throughout the movie.
I enjoyed that.
And the other part of the movie is Ed Rooney is his student advisor, I believe is his title, or
He's
That was
a
the
vice principal, something like that. One of the two.
I want to say he is
I thought he was a student advisor. It said.
I think, but a principal can also be a student advisor to a kid.
Dean of students. It says
Dean of students.
Okay, so whatever. He's basically like a vice principal. He's in charge of disciplinary things. He has a bone to pick with Ferris because Ferris has missed school 9 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, only 9.
And
Which apparently is a lot.
yeah, it's one semester. I don't know. I guess.
I mean, think how long a fucking semester
Yeah, I
is.
guess it's not. I don't know. Whatever. It's a lot. He said it was a lot. Anyway, he's suspicious of Ferris's fate.
Sorry, let me rephrase.
sure.
If it's 9 in like 2 months, it's a lot.
Yeah.
If it's the end of the semester, it's not.
Yeah.
So, okay, go ahead.
So no problem. So Ferris is a senior. He skipped school. This is his 9th time. He's done this before, where he's fake sick. He knows the routine, if you will. So Rooney is trying to bust him. He thinks that he's like
Same with his sister.
And his sister. Oh yeah, his sister's very jealous of him because she thinks he gets away with everything.
Oh yeah,
she doesn't get away with nothing, if anything. I'm sorry. And
she don't get away with nothing.
They're both trying to bust Ferris. Basically, they're jealous of him, and Rooney wants to, make an example out of him.
Exactly.
Make him repeat his senior year if he catches him. And his parents, of course, believe everything Ferris does, and the whole community. There's a whole gag where it's save Ferris. They think that he's really dying, and
he needs a kidney transplant.
They're collecting collection money, and teachers are delivering flowers, and
the police are
the
all
nurses,
rallying for him too.
Like it's a whole gag throughout the movie. But it's basically it's a comedy for most of it. There's a little bit of drama with Cameron at the end, but for the most part, it's just like straight up great comedy. Like if fun. Just like movie like what if you had the day off, what would you do, and just living vicariously through Ferris. Anything you guys want to add?
I thought you put a nice little bow on that.
It's good, man. I just would say that the dream, as you were saying, like I think everybody wants to be able to do that, but I think that there was also like that's more of a ambitious kids like thing to like he's got a zest for life. He wants to be doing shit. I think most people like if you could stay home for the day, like yes, this is winning the lottery. I can watch a movie. Usually, honestly, at 11 a.m. you're watching like Jerry Springer. Or
he's taking it full advantage.
I'll just say this:
he's going out. He's doing that.
You
got
call
plans.
him a slacker, but he already has some,
Like
apparatus set up. But you got a plan for a day like this. So he's grabbing life by the balls, but he already had an idea in mind the moment he put this plan into action that morning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was to say exactly about. He's a slacker in a sense of school, but in a sense of real life. Like if whatever he wants to apply himself to, he's good at. Like he has, like you said, he has plans. He's had this whole thing worked out. Like we find out throughout the day, like that. His girlfriend knew, and Cameron obviously had an idea, even though he didn't want to come over. Which
Cameron was the begrudgingly tag along, but he eventually turned the corner.
Clearly, he's done this before, or something like this, and he's executed this plan. He knows what he's doing, kind of thing.
Right. This isn't his first rodeo.
So I'm just gonna go with our first thing. When did you guys first see this? What's your personal experience with this movie?
It's the classic Woj family. This was easily because again, it's like more of PG nature, and honestly, at the time, I think my whole family was definitely on a John Hughes kick for sure. It was what's hot at the time. So we were definitely. This was probably not a theater viewing. Obviously, not a theater viewing for me. Duh. But
we grant you rank.
I meant that it was probably to me it was probably more of like a home video. Like this would be something that we owned probably very early on. That's my experience. Watching it when I'm like 5 and 7 and then
Barbarino.
Yeah, this definitely when I was younger. This I think we caught it on VHS. Maybe it was rented out from the movie, Blockbuster, what have you, Family Video sometimes. But I think for my parents' point of view or sake of view, it's like it is PG. It's tailored. Like there is some adult humor, but it's for what it's worth. If the kids watch this movie, it's tame.
Sure.
So yeah, I was able to watch this I think from a young age, and now to appreciate it more when you grow up a little bit, watch it again. So you get to see different aspects. Nice. Different lens.
Yeah, my family definitely introduced me to this. My dad or my dad's side. I don't know if it was him or my uncle or aunt. I think I was talking about some other movie like Stripes or something, or maybe Spaceball, something like that, Uncle Buck or whatever. And then they were like, "Oh, you should watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off." I'm like, "Oh, what's that?" He's like, "You never seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?" I'm like, I think I was like 12 or something. Like,
oh, no, man, 12.
Yeah, or maybe 11, 12. I don't know, whatever.
That's a little late.
It was, but I made it up for lost time.
There you go.
That quickly became a staple and one of my favorites. Just like a great, like we've talked about last time. Good. If you're from the area, Chicago or the suburbs, you probably like it extra more special because they have like all the things that we've been there. We know where that is.
Right. Filmed in Evanston.
Like Chicago, they're in the we've seen this. The suburbs of the city. We can relate to it, and just like a fun movie. Where like Matthew Broderick never did anything better than this, in my opinion. Like he just this is his best. Like it was so good. Like
this
so
is
charismatic and Just like it's you never get sick of this movie. Like and it's not shitting on the Breakfast Club, but unlike the Breakfast Club, it takes place in many different settings and places where you're going around the city and different things. So I think it kind of keeps it fresh, you know. And it's more definitely leans more into the comedy than that one did. But like, I just think it's like just a great time if you like this, type of John Hughes and comedy.
Love John Hughes,
yeah. So I'm gonna start with the scenes. I'm gonna start us off with the first thing, which I'm gonna do a little monologue thing. It's basically the introduction to Ferris. They show that he's sick, in quotes, but he's actually faking it. His parents are buying it. He's like, I'm delirious and whatever. I can't see. And his sister is clearly like, this is bullshit. And
Jennifer
he's winking at her behind his parents' back, and like she's like basically like, fuck you, this is bullshit. And this is the first time also that Ferris breaks the fourth wall, which is what I'm about to read.
Right.
And he talks about tips about making your parents believe you were sick and how to skip school.
Yeah, you gotta earn it.
So here we go. All right. Incredible. One of my worst performances of my career, and they never doubted it for a second. How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this? This is my 9th sick day this semester. It's getting pretty tough to come up with new illnesses. If I go for 10, I'm probably going to have to barf up a lung, so I better make this one count. The key to faking out the parents is the clammy hands. It's a good non-specific system. I'm a big believer in it. A lot of people will tell you a good phony fever is a deadlock. But if you get a nervous mother, you can wind up in a doctor's office. That's worse than school. If you fake a stomach cramp, then while you're bent over and moaning and wailing, you lick your palms. It's a little childish and stupid, but then again, so is high school. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. I do have a test today. That wasn't bullshit. It's on European socialism. I mean, really, what's the point? I'm not European. I don't plan on being European. So who gives a crap if they're socialists? They could be fascist anarchists. This doesn't change the fact that I don't own a car. It's not that I don't condone. It's not that I condone fascism or any ism for that matter. Isms, in my opinion, are not good. A person should not believe in an ism. He should believe in himself. I quote John Lennon. I don't believe in Beatles. I just believe in me. A good point there. After all, he was the walrus. I could be the walrus. I still have to bum rides off of people. So, like, that's just kind of a little, like, him breaking the fourth wall, the kind of showing us how this movie's going to be, like, different than maybe other John Hughes movies or other movies we've seen where... Because generally, characters don't always do that, so...
No, yeah. And it came out of the gate early.
And it's been parodied many times.
100 times over, yeah.
So, anybody want to throw something in?
More? Okay, it's one scene I like is when he's hustling back to beat his parents, and he's
going all the way to the end of the movie?
All the way to the end. I'm sorry, I am, but I enjoy...
Usually like to build to the end.
Okay, so are we doing chronological? I was
just try to.
Usually.
Okay, then I like when... Rooney is talking to Grace, and she's like, the sluts, the gangsters, the Crips, they all like him. They all
Sportos?
Yeah.
You get the quote?
Yeah, I have it.
They all think he's a swell guy.
What would you go for? I'll find it really quick.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry, I went to the end. My bad. I really loved it.
Yeah, the calling of Cameron in the beginning sets up his relationship where, like, you kind of, I think at some point in everybody's life, you kind of have that friend where, like, they can be a great time, but like as soon as one thing's they're just like, I am dying. I have he probably had I just drank a bunch of cough medicine. I'm good now, but he doesn't want to break the rules.
Yeah.
He's very,
So I do have that Grace one really quick. Oh, he's very popular, Ed. The Sportos, the Motorheads, the Geeks, Sluts, Bloods, Wastoids, Dweebies, Dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
That's it.
So, that was it. So I'm going to go back, and that's my turn. Really quickly, the Ben Stein roll call with the Bueller.
Oh, yeah, that's
Bueller. That's a classic.
Bueller,
Fry. And then, of course, I think Wo just mentioned it. Ferris calling Cameron, right? And he's like, just like, I'm not going, or I'm ill. And he's like, get the fuck over here. Like, basically, like... Stop dicking around kind of thing.
I got two real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
They're 2-second clips, but it's Edie McClurg. What's her name?
Grace.
Grace is a secretary, and then at one point she pulls a pencil out of her hair.
Yeah.
And she pulls another one, and then there's also a point where she takes the whiteout bottle, does a little sniff, and you're just like, all right, what the fuck? Like... Yeah, they're real quick while Rooney's calling, I think Ferris, But yeah, anything. I'm a Rooney guy. Rooney is the fucking quintessential guy in this film.
Yeah. So that leads into I think the table read, which is going to be an extensive one.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. I gotta
put in serious time for this one. It's going to be a little long, but it's going to be worth it. I'm going to set the scene up.
So this is
Ed Rooney,
all that you sent, right?
Yeah, it should be in order. It starts with Ed Rooney talks to George Peterson on the phone. So George Peterson. Okay, so the idea of the scene is Ferris's girlfriend Sloane gets called out of class. The nurse comes.
Sloane Peterson.
Sloane Peterson. When Sloane knows this is happening, she packs her stuff up right away and is like, she's in on it. That her grandma has passed away, but it's actually Ferris's plan to get her out to join them to ditch. And Rooney doesn't buy it. He finds out that Sloane's dating Ferris. He doesn't trust Ferris, so he's like, I want George Peterson or Mr. Peterson's dayline, but then Mr. Peterson in quotes. I'm gonna say calls, but it's actually Cameron.
Right, Cameron impersonating. Yeah.
And so, but Rooney the whole time is under the belief that he's talking to the real George Peterson because eventually,
initially he thinks I'm just calling.
Right,
Ferris
initially he thinks it's Ferris, so he's fucking with him. He's like, "Oh, let me see the body, and we'll get it. I'll let you do the quotes and whatever." But and then Ferris calls like, "Hey, on the other line." So now he thinks that it's actually Mr. Peterson, and it's a really funny just whole thing. And then there's also a little back and forth at the end with Ferris and Cameron as well. Just let me find my place really quick, guys.
All right, so who's being who?
So
There's a
I
lot.
will be Cameron, both the Mr. Peterson and the regular Cameron. Woj will be Mr. Rooney and Grace, and you will be Ferris.
Ferris.
No, he's
Ferris and Grace.
He said he couldn't do it. He said you should do it. He said,
okay, I'll do Ferris and Grace.
No, I'll do Ferris.
What do you want me to do? I could do Grace if you want.
I'll do Grace and Rooney.
Okay, yeah, and you got Ferris.
I got Ferris.
Okay,
I can do
that's
Ferris.
fine.
All right, let me get to my place really quick.
Let me get into character.
All right.
I need total silence while I get in. I need total silence.
All right, starts with Ed Rooney.
Ed Rooney talks to George Peterson
on the phone.
And then Ed Rooney has the first line.
Yep.
Okay. Give me Mr. Peterson's daytime phone number.
Phone rings and Grace answers.
Ed Rooney's office.
This is George Peterson.
Well, what you know? It's Mr. Peterson. Do you still want his daytime number?
And then Rooney looks at her with like disgust, like, why would I need his number if he just called, basically, kind of thing. And she's like, oh, that was a dumb question.
Ed Rooney.
Ed, this is George Peterson.
How are you today, sir?
Well, we've had a bit of bad luck this morning, as you may have heard.
Yeah, I heard, and I'm all broken up. Boy, what a blow.
Yeah. Well, it's been a tough morning, and we got a lot of family business to take care of, so if you wouldn't mind excusing Sloane, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. I'd happy to. Yeah, you just produce a corpse, and I'll release Sloane. I want to see this dead grandmother firsthand.
Ed!
It's all right, Grace. It's Ferris Bueller, the little twerp. I'm going to set a trap and let him fall right in.
Ooh! I'm sorry, Ed. Did you say you wanted to see a body?
Yeah, that's right. Just roll her old bones over here, and I'll dig up your daughter. You know, that's school policy.
Oh,
Was this your mother?
No. It was my wife's mother. Ed Rooney's office.
Yeah. Hi, this is Ferris Bueller. Can I speak to Mr. Rooney, please? Thank you.
Hold.
Tell you what, dipshit. If you don't like my policies, you can come down here and smooch my big old white butt.
Ed!
Buck her up, Buttercup. What?
Ferris Bueller's on line 2.
Rooney
looks in utter disbelief and in the realization that he fucked up, then takes the call from Ferris on the other line.
Yeah, hey, Mr. Rooney, how you doing? Listen, I'm sorry to disturb you at work. I'm not feeling very well today, and I was wondering if it might be possible for my sister to bring home any assignments for my classes that I might need. Have a nice day.
The flowing light blinks. Mr. Peterson's still on hold. Rooney's nervous to pick up the other line after he said everything to Mr. Peterson before that.
Mr. Peterson? Sir, I think I owe you an apology.
Well, I should say you do.
I really don't know, sir. I mean, I didn't think I was talking to you. I thought I was talking to somebody else. Sir, I would have never deliberately insulted you like that.
Oh.
I can't begin to tell you how embarrassed I am.
What's that? Well, I think you should skip me. I'm sorry. Well, I should think you should be sorry for Christ's sake. A family member dies.
Oh shit!
And you insult me.
Sorry, dude. Sorry,
what the hell's the matter with you anyway?
Okay, dude. It clipped, and
it's okay. Just repeat.
We're gonna go back to Rooney where he's like, and then
okay, Rooney.
And then
you want me to go? Or you got it? Or you want me to go again?
I don't know where the other cup is. Other part is.
I have the Cameron. Pardon my French. I thought that's what.
No, it should be and then it should be me saying, "Well, I think you should be sorry for Christ's sake," and then Ed Rooney says, well, you." No, and then you go, "I really don't know, sir. I mean, I don't." The part you just said.
Oh, he's saying.
Wherever you just said, you had it.
So Cameron would say, "Pardon my French, but you're an asshole."
No, that's after that, but yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna start it.
Okay. And then, well, I think you should be sorry for Christ's sake. A family member dies, and you insult me. What the hell's the matter with you anyway?
I really don't know, sir. I mean, I didn't think I was talking to you. I thought I was talking to somebody else. You know, sir, I would never deliberately insult you like that. I can't begin to tell you how embarrassed I am.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole. Asshole.
You're absolutely right, sir. You've hit the nail right on the head.
This isn't over, Buster. Do you read me?
Loud and clear, Mr. Peterson.
Call me sir, goddammit.
Yes, sir.
That's better.
No.
Now you just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with. Ferris enters the kitchen where Cameron's on the phone with Mr. Rooney. Ferris.
Bueller. Ferris Bueller.
All right, now Cameron is going to talk to Ferris in his normal voice. Hey, I'm a little scared because what if he recognizes my voice?
Impossible. You're doing great.
Yeah? All right. Rooney! And then Sir Grace picks it up. Rooney, calm down.
Just a moment. Ed.
Rooney picks the phone back up, sounding panicked.
Just a little office difficulty, sir.
Rooney, I don't have all day to bark you, so I'm making this short and sweet. I want my daughter out in the front of the school in 10 minutes by herself. I don't want anybody. Ferris slaps Cameron on the arm. What?
It's too suspicious. He'll think something's up. Cover it.
You.
Talk.
You.
Talk.
Come on.
Talk. No.
Rooney. Rooney.
Yes?
Listen here. Pay attention. I changed my mind. I want you on the front of the school with her. I'd like to have a few words with you, by God. Ferris slaps Cameron in the face, and the phone falls out of his hand. On second thought, we don't have time to talk right now. We'll just get together soon and have lunch. And Ferris kicks Cameron in the butt. What the hell's wrong with you?
Where's your brain?
Why'd you kick me?
Where's your brain?
Why'd you kick me?
Where's your brain?
I asked you first.
How can we pick up Sloane if Rooney's there with her?
I said for her to be there alone, and you freaked.
Now, I didn't hit you. I lightly slapped you.
You hit me. Look, don't ask me to participate in your stupid crap if you don't want to like the way I do it. You make me get out of bed. You make me come over here. You make me make a phony phone call to Edward Rooney. The man could squash my nuts into oblivion. And then you deliberately hurt my feelings.
Scene. That was good.
Sorry about that, dude.
That's
it literally
okay.
just cut out that one part.
That's
so
okay.
I was like,
yeah,
that's
sorry. I
really
was trying
annoying.
to, get it all in the text. Maybe I cut it off or something. It was quite a bit to capture. So I hope you guys appreciated it.
I thought the voiceover work was incredible. I think I was the worst.
Rooney?
Yeah, I mean, let's just say, I literally, that was, one of the main reasons, I wanted to do this movie for that table read specifically. And that's the only one we're going to do, so
right.
Well worth it. Let's get back to scenes, guys. After that now, so I guess next would be...
I mean, I'm just calling out the as soon as that scene ends, Rooney does this great thing of he's running down the hall
yes.
to get Sloane out, but he runs, and then as soon as he passes a classroom, he does like a walk, run, walk. It's so fucking
that is
funny,
a good one.
man. And then I'll just generalize, though. The tour through Chicago, obviously everybody loves it.
Right.
They just hit all the great hits. Go ahead, Ryan.
I would say just before they went to Chicago, I really like the scene where Sloane's father, a.k.a. Ferris, and Cameron go to pick her up at the school, and he's like in a trench coat and sunglasses, and she walks out to him, and he makes out with her in front of Rooney. Basically, he's like, "Do you have a kiss for Daddy?" And then he says the great line. He's like, "So that's how it is in their family." But yeah, the whole city thing is
his sister in the hallways, and when
oh my God, yes.
just seeing her, the disdain, and Ferris is fine. This is like basically just that hatred that just and you know what? She does a great role to embody that too.
Yes.
Like, so that was very believable. Everyone's like, even like the policemen, firefighters, even random people, like we're all pulling for Ferris. She's like, Jesus, like, you know, and she's trying to bust his ass too.
Absolutely.
So that was such a fun. But the hallway scene got me.
The whole gag with the valet in Cameron's dad's car where Ferris puts in the parking garage and Cameron's like, no, I don't trust these guys. Basically, like, I don't trust anybody with this car. Anything could happen to it. And he's like, I'll give him a $5, like it'll be cool or whatever. And then like as soon as he tells him to take special care of it, he immediately, when they're walking down the sidewalk, you see the car pull out and these guys are just going for the joyride of their life, which at one point is capped off with the the theme sequence for Star Wars when they're going over the one street, which is a perfect song for that
fucking
clip.
amazing.
Anybody else? Keep it going. I can go if you like.
Sorry. It's a real quick thing, but the mortuary voicemail, as like they're setting up the gag, right? Is
and Sloane's voicemail too is great.
Calls Sloane's house. She's like, "I'm sorry, we have to be with the deceased today, or whatever."
You're right.
The mortuary. Cameron's one is the mortuary.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I wish I had that.
And the whole Sloane thing, which is like, if you need to call us, you can reach us at. It just like trails off, where there's like no number.
Or when Jeannie kicks in his door and that dummy comes flying.
Yes.
Up, she's like, God damn.
I forgot to mention that Ferris's mom actually comes to check in on him at one point because she doubts him now, and he has a perfectly rigged setup where he has a trophy anchoring a wire to a keyboard and a dummy in the bed.
Recording of like,
so yeah, when the door opens, she cracks it open. The keyboard makes a snoring noise, and the dummy lifts up like he's turning over.
And isn't there a recording too? Like, Barry's like, "Oh, I'm not really feeling well. Could you shut?" You know.
Right.
Very dismissive, yeah.
Obviously, they go to the Sears Tower. They lean out the window. That's kind of a famous scene. I would say one of my favorites, the Abe Froman Sausage King of Chicago scene.
Absolutely.
Where they go to a snooty upscale restaurant. And the guy,
French.
the maitre d', is kind of a snobby guy. Snooty, snobby. Calls them out. Calls Ferris out basically like he's full of shit. And Ferris just can't let this go. So he calls the restaurant with the phone at the restaurant, so it makes the guy go to the back to answer the other line, has Sloane pick up and describe Ferris what he's wearing as Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago, so they can get a table and so they can show this guy up basically or whatever. And then there's also another funny part. Cameron does the voice again. He's like, "This is George Peterson, Chicago Police, looking for Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago."
You know what? Like eventually, like they get him to turn that rock over, and he started rolling. Like you finally saw him and started to enjoy himself. It was a great time.
Absolutely.
In terms of the highlights, they go to the stock market, restaurant you mentioned, Cubs game, museum, parade is the culmination. Which did you have the actual name of what parade that is?
No, I did not. I did not.
They had the Beatles twist and shout.
But I would say, we'll just mention really quick. We're talking about the parade. Ferris leading the entire parade, lip syncing first Donkashane, and then
it's played it multiple times.
Yeah, and then Twist and Shout by the Beatles specific version. The whole crowd goes nuts. Everybody's dancing and loving it. He and Ferris's dad is looking on from the building above, and he's like doing a little twist and shout.
It's called Von Steuben Day.
Okay.
So it was actually filmed during the Von Steuben Day.
Pretty sick. Pretty awesome, epic scene of them. One of the more epic scenes of the movie, more memorable scenes. I would have before that, I love this little scene where Rooney's on the hunt for Ferris, and he looks from the pizzeria, and he goes behind the one he thinks is Ferris, and it's actually like a girl with short hair in the same jacket.
Sure.
And he says that one line, and then also, I always quote this one, he gets the soda on him that she blows on him after being a creep. Yeah. He goes up to the pizzeria guy's watching the Cubs game, which Ferris is at.
Right. He's on
and
TV.
Rooney doesn't catch him.
On TV, right.
Rooney misses him. He catches a foul ball. Rooney misses it. And anyway, he's like, what's the score? And the guy's like, nothing. And then Rooney obviously not paying attention. He's like, who's winning? And the guy's like, the Bears. Like, that's just that line always sticks with me.
Rooney losing his shoe in the mud.
Yes, at Ferris's house.
That was just icing on the cake. Like, go fuck yourself.
It was a really
like,
great setup too. He goes to Ferris's house to check it out, and Ferris again has a recording set up where if you ring the doorbell, hello, this is Ferris Bueller. I'm not feeling very well. I can't come. And he has like 3 set up responses. But Rooney goes beyond the 3 responses, so he figures out that Ferris is full of shit. And as Bobby said, he goes around the back. Gets his shoe completely submerged in this mud, like really disgusting.
Goodbye. Yeah.
I got a couple last quick hits for the scenes. So this is a great gag that I fucking love. So Cameron's in the back of the Ferrari. Ferris is driving, and obviously Cameron's like, "This is my dad's baby. He loves the car."
It's a 1936 Ferrari,
and he's doing like this. Where he's
Spiders.
like, "Oh, you see that over there?" And like. Cameron's like, get your fucking hands on the wheel. And then one, he just turns around. He's like, oh, did you see it? It's fucking freaking
Poking
out.
the bear, yeah.
Also had the wide shot of the Ferrari turning on. This is when the Joyriders had it under the L. I don't believe it's not on. It's not whack or anything like that. I think it's just under the L. And then the Save Ferris on the water tower.
On the water
I thought
tower.
it's an iconic.
And on the marquee of Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Yeah,
also
they
cool.
do it, yeah.
Rooney breaking into Ferris's house while his sister Jeannie's also there trying to bust Ferris is great. And they run into each other, and she fucking knocks him out with a kick to the head. And then tells him to get out, and the whole gag of his car gets like 6 tickets and gets towed in front of a fire hydrant. And he tries to put the key in while it's moving, and the key gets stuck in there. And he's chasing the car with one shoe, and like dirty clothes. It's fucking great. Obviously, Woj kind of already said it, but Cam sitting in the back, and then once he realizes that the car has been driven for 3,000 miles, it had like 62 or something. After the valets gave it back, they're driving home. Ferris sees it. He's like, "Oh, Cameron's gonna freak out." And he goes to like a catatonic state or whatever.
It wasn't. They're like they took it for a joyride. It was.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Woj or Bobby, anybody else?
I'm good on scenes.
I'm good on scenes.
All right, I'll just round it out then. Of course, Jeannie talking to Charlie Sheen at the police station is pretty good. I'll just mention that really quick.
That's been parodied a bunch.
Yeah,
too.
them trying to put the car in reverse, propping it up to get the miles back. It doesn't work, and then Cameron starts kicking the car in disgust of his father.
Pulls it off the jack stands.
And the car, comes off the stands, rolls backwards. He has like this double. He has like a mansion kind of like he has like a glass garage on the second floor on a hill. It backs out of there into a forest and is completely totaled. That's the one like kind of sentimental scene where John Hughes usually has one of those where he's like Cameron's father is an asshole. He's finally going to talk to him and confront him or whatever. And then of course. Now, Bobby, you alluded to earlier, the epic and iconic Ferris racing home scene. To beat his parents and his sister. His sister and his mom were in one car. His sister's driving. She's trying to speed and gets pulled over by a cop. His dad's stuck behind the old lady, and he actually sees Ferris at one point, or doesn't see him, but he sees him but doesn't see him.
That was that cab scene in the...
the same thing, the cab. He's running through neighbors' houses, backyards. At the one point, the one famous
stops to talk to the lady.
The girl's tanning, and hey, Ferris Bueller.
Love that.
And then jumping off the trampoline with the slow mo. That's been parodied. Of course, he finally gets to the backyard, and his parents are coming through the house, but Rooney is there and has the house key, so he can't get in. But of all people, Jeannie comes to his rescue, and finally is like, I guess, over the fact that he's not as upset anymore, and maybe like she can just be like, why don't I just do that?
I think she looked a little in the mirror at Rooney, and she's like, I don't want to be this person.
Right.
I mean, I think it was a thing of like only I can fuck around my brother.
Yeah,
you
and then
can't.
she gives Rooney his wallet. It's like, hey, Mr. Rooney, you left your wallet in our kitchen, and then he's like, what the fuck? And then of course, one final thing, the last 2 kind of post-credit scenes. Rooney riding the school bus back in shame, the girl offering him like a gummy or something or whatever, and then on the bus is like Rooney sucks or whatever it says, I forget, something like that. And then once and final time, Ferris breaking the 4th wall to tell us, you're still here? Yeah. It's over. Go home.
Go home.
Go.
Deadpool did it.
Deadpool, exactly.
So
scenes I'm cashed out on.
Yep.
Let's do it. Move on.
Let's do quotes. I mean, we missed, start it off. Anybody who wants to start.
Yeah. I don't think you mentioned it because you didn't do his. You did part of the monologue, right? But like, did you mention the life moves pretty fast? Okay,
I did.
Sorry.
But that's iconic. You can mention it again.
That's iconic. No,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Okay.
We already mentioned it. Again, I'm a Cameron guy for sure. He's sitting in bed. He goes, "When Cameron was in Egypt's land, let my Cameron go."
His melancholy is just funny. It's he actually was trying out for Judd Nelson's role as Bender. For I didn't know that was a fun factoid.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but he obviously didn't get the role.
I have a quick Ferris one. Pardon my French, but Cameron is so tight. If you stuck a lump of coal up his ass, in 2 weeks you'd have a diamond.
I do Ferris again. I asked for a car. I got a computer.
Yeah, another Ferris one. Cameron has never been in love. At least nobody's ever been in love with him. If things don't change for him, he's going to marry the first girl he lays. She's going to treat him like shit because she will have given him what he has built up in his mind as the end-all, be-all of human existence. She won't respect him because you can't respect somebody who kisses your ass. It just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good bit. Yeah, there's a lot of monologue in this.
We got Rooney. Can somebody? Do you know the grace part?
Which one?
For Rooney when he's talking about I don't trust this kid.
Yeah, I can get it really quick.
Yeah, get the grace part because it's perfect.
Okay, I am ready.
Okay. I don't trust this kid any further than I can throw him.
Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody. It's true.
He just fucking glares at Grace like this fucking dumbass. Rooney, we can't pick up Sloan in your car. Rooney would never believe Mr. Peterson drives this piece of shit.
Yeah. He's like, what the hell? He's like, well, at least you have a piece of shit
yeah.
that I can envy. I don't even have anything. Jeannie over the house intercom when Rooney's in there. Excuse me, if whoever was in the house is still in the house, I'd like you to know that I've just called the police. I'd also like to add that I've got my father's gun and a scorching case of herpes.
Yeah. The maitre d' at the restaurant. I suggest you leave before I get snooty. Snooty? Snotty.
Yeah, and then he's like, if you touch me, I'll scream rat.
Yeah.
Of course, Cameron at the baseball game. Hey, bada 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 bada. Hey, bada bada. So wing bada. Kennedy.
What is that? What's that second part? I don't know the word.
I just know from Ferris Bueller.
I'm trying to think of I was thinking about.
Sounds like
maybe
Kennedy to me. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's trying to put it on with an accent of like Kenny hit, Kenny hit, Kenny hit, Kenny hit.
Yeah.
It's got to make sense though in terms of like baseball, So like you're trying to think of ways you can do that.
Another Genie one when she's in the house. Look, this is not a phony phone call. There's an intruder, male, Caucasian, possibly armed, certainly weird, in my kitchen. Yeah, my name is Bueller. Look, it's really nice to hope my brother's feeling better, but I'm in danger, okay? I'm very cute. I'm very alone. I'm very protective of my body. I don't want it violated or killed, all right? I need help. Speak of the English?
I
She
got
knocks it out of the park.
there's a quick one, but like it's not even actually it's a miming, it's a recreation of what he does. So Tim Bueller, the dad, is like driving, and there's this like 80-year-old woman who can't see over the steering wheel, like swerving, and he just does this.
Yeah, get out of the way. He's good.
Just definitely something I've done in my driving experiences.
Oh
like,
yeah, we've all
like
done
try
that.
not to fucking scream like get the fuck out. Just like get
a light beep or something.
This is that thing that Ed Rooney said, the French. Les gens sont faits. Translation, the game is up. Your ass is mine.
But do you know what he actually says in that?
No.
Yeah.
I don't speak French.
What was the first what did you think like
Les gens sont faits.
and then no, what's the meaning of it?
It says, well, his translation, the game is up, your ass is mine. I don't know what it actually means.
It's supposed to be the game is up, but oh man, I wish I could
I
pull
didn't take
what
French.
it is. It's just like
No,
it's
me
another
neither.
joke though. He thinks it means this.
Oh, okay. See, I
but
didn't
it
know that.
actually means something
I can see what you're
else.
saying. Yeah.
Just another kind of joke on the joke. I'm solid on.
I got like maybe like one more.
Ryan's like I got 15 more. So we're
Ferris,
gonna be
you're still here. Oh no, I'm sorry, wrong one. If you're not over here in 15 minutes, you can find a new best friend. And then Cameron's like, you've been saying that since the 5th grade. And then the whole thing. I'm so disappointed in Cameron. $20. He's in his car right now, debating whether to go out. And then Cameron's like, in the car, he'll keep calling me. He'll keep calling me until I come over and make me feel guilty. This is, it's ridiculous. Okay, I'll go. What? I'll go. Shit. And he keeps turning the engine on and off. And he's like, God damn it. Ah, shit. That's it. It's really funny. Yeah. I think that's it. Actually, one more. Sorry. When he's talking about the car in the bathroom, it's like, it's so choice. If you have the means, I highly recommend picking one up in reference to Cameron's dad's car.
Yeah, choice became a thing.
Yeah, I say that one a lot too. All right, that's it. I'm good for that.
Let's go. Next one.
I guess give me maybe like, since it's kind of ensemble-ish, but like who's like your top 3 favorite people in this movie? I mean, Ferris is probably one, I'm assuming. Or
I'd say we exclude Ferris.
Okay,
probably,
let's say outside of Ferris, who is your
character.
favorite person in the movie? How about that?
I'm a top 3 is definitely Rooney, Cameron, Grace.
Yes,
I mean,
I think that's for sure.
That's my order.
I think,
that's what I was gonna say. We just shuffle that around and maybe Jeannie.
Outside, yeah, Jeannie's pretty good, and then also outside shot. Sloane's actually pretty good for what she does, I think, and Ben Stein in his 2 scenes is solid as well.
I mean, Ben Stein, that's an iconic, for sure.
That's what landed him his roles moving forward.
I mean, I would definitely say though that like propelled Roger's career, Ruck's career. Jennifer Grey already had Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing under her belt.
That's the next year.
Okay.
Oh.
So this is a prequel to that.
I think she was in Red Dawn maybe, though, before this.
Okay, maybe. Edie McClurg, I think, again, this is like one of her like 4 or 5 like most iconic characters for sure.
Yes.
I do just want to mention Del Close, who's the prolific. He is literally the inventor of improv. He ran, I think, Second City. Before
that sounds right.
He was the just again like he taught Belushi, Aykroyd. I don't know if Aykroyd might have been somewhere else, but Murray. I mean, all these guys from Chicago, like he was their teacher of improv. Like he's the reason that we have some of these phenomenal fucking films and entertainment. He just plays that quick like teacher character. Nothing there.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, man, Louis Anderson. He died a couple years ago, but like he was the fucking best. Like whether you didn't like him, like that's why he was so great. He had that annoying voice, like
I'm Louis Anderson.
Yeah.
You guys.
I used to watch his cartoon on Fox Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh really, man? I couldn't do it. Louis Anderson. Sorry,
I don't really remember it, but I remember watching it.
I mean, he's a pretty good guy there. And then I just jotted down a guy's name. I just got to see who.
I was going to transition to that guy if we're getting there.
I'm just trying to see. Oh, okay. Go.
I think for me, it's the one valet.
Yeah, Richard Edson.
He's in Do the Right Thing, the Spike Lee movie.
The longer hair dude.
Yeah.
Richard Edson.
A couple other things, but that's the first thing that popped in my head, and then. Christy Swanson is one of the people in the beginning, the classroom.
No shit, really?
Yeah, she's the one who's like, absolutely, no problem or whatever.
I did not pick that up.
I heard my friend said Ferris almost passed out at 31 Flavors or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are the 2 I had.
I mean, Charlie Sheen is a guy.
Well, Charlie Sheen.
You already like again is another.
That guy.
I think it was another thing though that like kind of like propelled this guy to like I think he's just started being in everything after.
I mean, he was definitely on the rise for sure. Yeah, so maybe at the time you could say that, but now obviously in retrospective he's not anymore. But maybe certainly at the time he was coming up. So I can see how you're saying.
And then the last guy I got like I don't think he really is that guy. I just think he's a guy that you do know this movie, like you know him from this movie, and that's I think his name is Jonathan Schmock was the maitre d'. The snooty guy. Like, that's the only thing that I've seen of it. I just want to do a shout-out. That guy's fucking great.
Well, and I would say, too, the school nurse is Sheila from there. I think she was, like, Uncle Phil's parents on Fresh Prince. She was his mom, I believe. I recognized her.
That was Virginia Capers.
Yeesh. And, of course, obviously, we already mentioned
Edie McClurg.
McClurg. That's an ultimate.
Yeah.
What a Chicago name.
So
I don't think she's from Chicago, but it's such...
We'll adopt her as one of her own.
Maybe a little bit more Wisconsin.
I did not have any recasting.
No, they nailed it.
Let's go to the needle drop song.
She's been from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
So
the needle drop or song or use of score. Obviously, Day Bow Bow, infamous with this movie.
which is called "Oh Yeah" by Yellow.
And they reference on Sunny and many other things.
I got Love Missile F11 by Sieg Sputnik.
I
mean, that's the opening song.
Yes, the one was like shoot it. That one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, and then obviously Donka Shane from Wayne.
You know, John Hughes hated that song.
And no, I did not know that.
Then, he had it disdain, but he's heard it a bunch. So
Twist and Shout from the Beatles. the Beatles version of Twist and Shout, I should say. Mm-hmm. Any other ones, Woj?
Yeah, I mean, these are just hits. I can't really pull exactly what scene it's from. The Beat City by the Flower Pot Men. I mean, what an 80s group name.
Flower Pot Men.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
There's a nice little jazz beat at times. Clown Ditty. It's not the actual name of the song, but it's like clowns, like kind of like theme music, will you?
I was like, is that the one at the end where he's running home?
No. I'm talking about when Rooney's breaking in. It's like... boom, 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 boom,
yeah.
I thought the piano when they were going through the Chicago like art museum, like that transition, like music was really nice, well done.
And of course, I already mentioned, but I'll mention again, the Star Wars theme when the valet drivers are going over the slow-mo line over.
Great slow-mo.
Yep.
I got Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want by Vitamin String Quartet. I believe there's a part where Cameron, it's like right after, I think, trying to, drown in the pool, but it's like a little bit more somber right there.
Yeah.
Taking the Day Off by the General Public. Shauna, it's Shauna / Jeannie in the police precinct.
Yeah,
it's when
Shauna.
yeah, it's when Jeannie is. I think what the name of the song is Shauna, but then they intersperse Jeannie,
right?
Like as they're like making love, like gazing into each other's eyes and shit like that. And then, I mean, again, these are just crazy names. The Edge of Forever by the Dream Academy. It's nuts.
You're doing the whole like musicology. On
yeah, I mean, dude, this is a great soundtrack, man. People should.
You know what?
This shit.
It came out only like 8 or 9 years later. Like it did not come out with the movie, and only I think 1,000 were sold or made or sold.
The one that you guys are referring to is called March of the Swivelheads by the English Beats. Is the wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. Any other ones?
No, moving on.
All right. If you guys have any cinematic shots you want to mention, I know Woj mentioned.
Yeah, already got
couple. I'm just gonna say the shot again. I'm gonna echo it again. If it's like the third time, the valet's going over the fucking street.
That was
It's pretty sick. That would probably be mine.
I think the whole Art Institute scene where they do the painting.
Yeah.
You know that like even just that song's like ingrained in your head, and that that painting specifically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Else moving on to spin-off, prequel, sequel. I didn't have anything. I was kind of struggling with this one.
Really?
I mean, like I feel like Ferris Bueller's a perfect like solo. Just it's good. Like you don't have to got to do any more expansion on it. Everything.
No, I leave it be. I guess for me, I would be curious how Cameron and Ferris became friends. So maybe like I guess prequel like. Them in like 7th or 8th grade. Ferris is maybe starting to come on his own, be as this like mischievous, but like
I could
a
come
younger
up with,
version.
I could come up with like a weird, somewhat sequel. Like I don't know if you guys are aware of like the whole. Have you heard the Cameron theory of this movie?
Yes, where
he's
Fight Club.
Remind me.
It's Fight Club. Ferris
basically,
never existed.
Cameron's made up Ferris Bueller and Sloan because he's a loser kid and is depressed, and this whole day is all in his head. And he makes the whole thing up. So like the sequel
I've heard
could be
that. I've heard that.
The sequel could be that
theory.
where it's like, Cameron wakes up and then he's in like a.
I don't like that.
But I don't like. I'm
concept,
saying.
yeah.
I'm saying it wouldn't be.
I've heard that though. I did.
Right. So you could do something with that in a weird, different type of thing. But
setting. Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't have anything written down, but I just came up with that just now. I could see that, but again, I think this movie is like an untouchable kind of like.
It really is. I think to do anything as a prequel or sequel would inevitably taint it. Now they did have an only lasted a TV show that
3
lasted
episodes or something.
And Jennifer Aniston was in it.
Yeah, she was.
And she ended
Sloan,
up,
I believe.
She was Jeannie.
Jeannie. Okay, sorry.
And she had a kissing scene with her own brother, which was like, the fuck is going on here? Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but
funny. Just a quick segue with that. During this movie that Jennifer Grey and Matthew Broderick were dating.
Yes,
which is kind of odd. Yeah. Not on camera.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but interesting enough that was
is
also
wild.
Yeah. Woj, you have anything for the sequel?
Yeah, I have
prequel or spinoff.
Yeah, I would have Ferris Bueller in terms of he goes to college, but what does he become? Because again, in high school, I feel like you can get away with shit a lot more. But like, is there a point where he actually is going like deadbeat? Hey, I can just get by doing fucking nothing and still scam everybody? Or is he like, hey, I'm going up the corporate ladder and scamming people?
Is this going to be a more serious movie than Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, it would be essentially the same thing in high school, but it's like you can't do the same shtick in high school. It just does not work.
So an elevated college level.
But I'm saying, is he going to take a day off of college and go around the...
No, it would be career-wise. Like, is he just going to be like a deadbeat stoner that's like, hey, I can still make $10,000 a week?
To me, this sounds more of like a more serious sequel where it's a different tone almost.
I mean, I didn't flesh it out that much. I just was like, kind of what's next for him? Because in my mind, it's like, yes, you can get away with a lot of shit in high school as you progress into adult, again, after college. Because, again, if you did a college sequel, I feel like it's just Ferris Bueller 2.0. It's just it's so much more grandiose and just a lot more shit. And, again, a lot of stuff can be unbelievable. And you're like, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Bobby, you're champing at the bit over here.
I'm chomping at this because this was also another theory or idea. Now, Matthew Broderick played a teacher /
well, see, this is going to go into the
you want to carry it from here, but
I know
he
you're
becomes
saying
essentially in this movie almost like the Ed Rooney, whereas Reese Witherspoon is now
you're thinking of Election,
exactly.
So this would be more of the next award, which is we're going into the Switcheroo crossover where well, I guess it's kind of sequel Switcheroo crossover.
That's what I've heard from other
where it's like
folks.
I actually did think about that as well last night too. Where you're right, in that movie he's the administrator, he's the one getting punked by Reese Witherspoon.
Right.
So if his name was Ferris Bueller, it absolutely could work in that sense.
I don't like that concept, but a lot of people have tied those.
No,
two
but that
together.
makes 100%. I thought about that last night. Actually, I didn't write it down for some reason.
Sorry, I was chomping at that.
I did think about that. Mine would be. This is a simple thing. It would just be like literally like add to the movie. Charlie Sheen's character in the movie is a young Rick Vaughn.
I like it.
That's Rick Vaughn in the police station right there.
Love that.
California penal.
She says, "Call me Shauna or whatever. I'll give you a call." He says, "Okay, no problem. I'm Rick Vaughn."
I'm Ricky.
I'm Ricky. Oh, what's your last name? Vaughn. Or something, or whatever.
What's with the eyebrows? Well,
I gotta practice my acting.
Did you know that in preparation of that, he stayed up for 2 straight days to get himself that tired?
I mean, it works. It's
a
method acting that works.
I couldn't do 2 straight days.
Whoa, did you
Switcheroo? I have Matthew Broderick in this kind of role. If he does something somewhat, Dead Poet Society is a little bit more of a dramatic drop off.
Yeah.
But he could interchangeably do any one of those characters. Just like an acting-wise, he could have definitely been in that. The more fun answer is, they remade the Blues Brothers, which they should have never done.
Wasn't it a sequel?
It was a sequel, but it was just basically like, hey, we're doing it again.
Sure. It was a requel.
Copy paste.
It was the same. It was the same shit. Hey, we're getting the band back together. Same plot, all that shit. They did it also way too late, and they introduced a kid, and John Goodman as the second guy's obviously because John Belushi died.
Dead, yeah.
I would have liked to see this would have worked perfectly timing wise because I believe Blues Brothers, the initial one was 84, maybe honestly 84 or
earlier.
Could be 82.
I think it was like 1980.
Okay, could be 80. This works out perfectly though to introduce another one, and it just like he could have done it with the charisma that he had.
I've heard a theory of this too, not a theory, but an idea that the only thing that they would possibly do is Cameron's, at the end, towards the end of his life, he's older, and he's older now. He put himself in a retirement home, and Ferris Bueller breaks him out of that.
That's like a Hollywood
that's a full circle, I guess, thing. If you wanted to,
it is closure, but it definitely seems like really Hollywood. Like
it's a cash grab.
For Brady type
I've
of
seen
bullshit.
other people entertain that idea.
Okay.
So.
You could have, like, if you want to do, like, Alan Ruck's character in Speed is just Cameron. Like, he's on the bus.
Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the guys on the bus.
Yeah.
It's Cameron. Instead of whoever he is, it's
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah. I just thought of that. All right, let's move on.
Picky
Nits.
Okay.
He wants to start. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm just gonna generalize for at least a little bit here. I'm gonna mention a bunch of things that are just like he would have got caught, or it's unbelievable to the point where like you would have been asking too many questions or blah blah blah. I'm gonna start with his like. I get that he's doing it to kind of like make a point, and he does admit it. He goes, one of my worst performances, but it's like even so, like you maybe get away with that stuff when you're like 7. And you're like, Mom, I don't feel too good. Or like, stuff like that.
But his mom adores him.
17,
clearly.
18, I'm just not believing that the parents are like, sure, no problem.
Well, I think the movie kind of leans into that.
Right? The whole,
it's more of an
fantasy,
overarching thing of like the parents are so oblivious that it's not believable.
I mean, they literally, like Bobby had said, his dad sees him multiple times in the cab, in the... he's running by him at the end,
looking down
at the parade. Like, I mean, at the restaurant almost. Like, there's, they're kind of intentionally. It seems like throwing it in your face.
But I love that. That's such a good loop.
It's to the point where I'm like, it's
kind of tongue in cheek.
It's not the end of the world, but I'm just like, he does it so many times that I'm like, come on, man.
Mine is, could Ferris have hacked into Mr. Rooney's computer during that time? Was that a possibility? Was the internet even around? Like, how would he?
Sure.
So the internet is around, and
would he even know how to use it?
There were no firewalls. There were no
so he could do that.
There was no protection because nobody the scarcity of computers would have been like, we don't even think that this is possible because like we have computers.
Yeah.
They're not readily I mean, like he says in it, I asked for a car, I got a computer. In 1986, you said, right? It's pretty fucking close. Like, a computer's probably going to cost, like, at least $1,000. You probably could have got a used car for $1,000.
The car would be cheaper,
The internet was accessible then to people in their homes and things?
In 86, for sure. It just wasn't, like, readily.
Few and far
Ferris
between.
Bueller is in a very, like, upper middle class
I'm not saying that he couldn't
area.
afford it. I just didn't know, like, many people knew about the capabilities of a computer.
Dude, it'll shock you, like when you just discover like the internet was actually invented in the 70s, I believe.
Right, but they had giant computers that would take place in a whole.
But it
room
wasn't. It was just simply the communication of one machine to the next. In the 80s and onward is when it started becoming a thing. I would say that like every home having one, definitely 90s.
No.
86, not a thing in all homes.
You might have just had the Motorola like cell phone in the car where they plugged that thing.
I was
in.
more questioning about like if enough people would know about it to use it to do that, or like that it exists to do like that, or like I don't know. It's hard.
I don't think that technology was widely used in the.
It's hard for us to say because when we were we were born in like the late 80s or Wojciech's case the early 90s, so it was always around.
Compact,
and never was
HP,
even back in our early day, it was still like in its infancy where we were learning and didn't use it quite the way, not even close to the way it's used today. So I was just questioning and.
I'm on the internet right now. I mean,
exactly. And I keep going. I have more if you want.
Yeah, just again going on like, how do neither of the parents know how many days he's missed in a semester? I feel like parents would kind of be on top of that, or is it just simply that Ferris's parents are shite? How do you switch? I'm generally curious. He has a rotary phone. How do you switch to call waiting?
Yeah, I was.
He
thinking
just
that,
taps a button. And
I was thinking that too.
I don't think that
usually when you tap like to hang up, like just a quick one, that'll switch you over to the other
I assume
line.
he has a 2-line phone, so that's how he's
right.
able
But
to
it's but again, it's so like again, I don't know nearly enough about phones that like could you have a rotary phone with maybe an enhancement in 86 that plugs into the phone jack. Like, I don't know.
I'm thinking like here's the like Ferris's mom's a real estate agent and his dad's a businessman. So maybe they need 2 lines for the house. So
I'm not discounting again upper middle class.
Yeah.
He's gonna have 2 lines. I just think the rotary phones were not meant unless he has some different. Like you couldn't just be like, I'm talking to Peggy now.
And obviously this is pre-caller ID, so they can't.
Right, which is why the whole ruse works, though, is that I like that being in the time we talked about it. It makes more sense later in the time to get away with shit.
I had, this is an obvious one, But Ferris and the gang, I'm going to call them, would not have enough time to do everything they had to do in that time frame that they did. There's no
fucking way.
You can't go to entire. I mean, they would have to leave the Cubs game early.
It would have been like 2 innings of the Cubs game.
Like they could have stayed for about 3 or 4.
Well, dude, think about it. They went up to the Sears Tower.
Sears Tower to the Cubs game.
That's at least a couple hours.
To the restaurant, to the museum.
Couple hours.
Back to.
It's the fact that they didn't start at 7 a.m. It took coaxing to get Cameron out.
And then they got to think about it. They got to drive
40 minutes
from the city in like almost rush hour.
You're right. The time frame
to the suburbs.
To accomplish all of that
while it's still daylight, get the fuck out.
There's no
like I said,
way.
That's stretching
and
the
the parade. We didn't even mention the parade. Like, who knows how long they were there for? He's like leading a parade.
Right. No, you're right.
I go Rooney would probably hear them as they're like whispering, like even though they're covering up. Like I'm still thinking like, oh, you talk. No, you talk. It's like
he had it covered, but I think the whole thing was Rooney was also flustered, and him and Grace were going back where he's running back and forth. So I could maybe see that, but I see what you're saying.
Ferris, I mean, picking up Sloan. Like I get that they go over the top.
The trench coat thing.
You're making out with your supposed daughter. That's deep. Like he's gonna call the fucking cops and go like, "Hey, this is a problem here."
Yeah, that was kind of an odd.
Also,
choice,
I don't know.
Did
Ferris actually believe that going in reverse would take the miles back, or is he just like
it was a myth? It was a large myth in the day.
Like that just doesn't.
Well, think about it, dude.
Older vehicles, it's something at least maybe worth trying. But I would have given it a few minutes, and if nothing happened, I'd be like, "Hey, man, it's not happening."
I think it's simply in the lore of like kids taking their parents' cars and going like, so they don't know how many miles. Like, I don't think my dad would have really known. Like, you drove for 8 miles, and I don't.
No, I don't think they'd pick it up. But if it was like 100 miles plus, I'd probably be like,
I thought this one was interesting. So in the cab scene, he sees Ferris, and then he looks back, and it's Sloan. Because he never met Sloan. He doesn't know what Sloan looks like. It's
she had glasses
Ferris's
on.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'll at least entertain the idea that it is possible that he was just hanging out with her and not bringing her back home.
That's true, but I was a little surprised. I'm like, I think he would probably have met Sloan or seen or heard about her. I don't know. Like,
okay, I'm
out, by the way.
The
Rooney would have been arrested at some point throughout.
Yeah, I mean, there's evidence all over the place of him breaking in. I don't give a shit if you're like, "Hey, I was worried about my student."
You can't.
You're breaking a lot of laws.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So
no way.
How do they pay for the lunch at Chef Luis, or do they just run out?
Well, Cameron's rich. He probably footed the bill.
Okay, fair point. His house is dope. I mean,
his dad's got a Ferrari.
Probably
only made 100.
Probably a mil back in the fucking day.
He probably has like a MasterCard or something for emergencies.
Black Amex, right? MasterCard is not.
Plus, maybe Ferris is sneaky. Maybe he stole money out of his mom's purse or his sister's purse or something. Like,
I'm just saying, it seems like that place is like $100 a plate, and 86. You're like,
no, for sure.
And they have foie gras.
Continuity errors. There's go words. Up the Yiking, there's just a lot of stuff. You can see cameramen and the reflections, or you're like, oh, he didn't have a sock in the thing. I
did not notice that, but
there are a good amount.
Yeah. But he did have to shuffle around a lot of scenes. Like I said, part of the initial cast or debut with the screening audience, like some of the sequences are off. He had to cut a lot, so I could imagine there might be some distortion. But
you said about there's like a 2.5 hour cut or something.
2 hours 42 minutes original film.
It's about an hour 40, so cut like an hour off.
Yeah.
Did the same thing with Planes Trains. He cut like another hour off.
I would love to have seen those extra scenes.
They're just keeping the shit rolling. So I got one more picking it before I just have a couple other just like random facts or whatever.
Sure.
Last picking it is really about the acting. Cameron's dramatic speech it's terrible acting. It's not good. When he's
at the end, you mean?
Yeah, when he starts to get real.
He's like, I don't mind it.
It's bad. It's like when you look at it again, it's like it's really like
like forced a bit.
Yeah, definitely forced. But it's just like I just simply think like Alan Ruck has become a great actor and he's found his niche. But like the dramatic, like giving the monologue, just at that time, just wasn't. You have to have that piece as like he fucking hates his dad, and I have to think I just think it's not.
I mean, he's kicking the car and he's yelling at it. It worked for me, but maybe I'm looking at rose-colored glasses. I'm
just saying, check it out. Like the minute thing,
by
and you
itself.
go like, it's not
okay.
Great.
I guess the lead up kind of.
All right, so just a couple quick hitters here.
Yeah, and a couple
randos. John Hughes' hand presses the phone button in Cameron's room. That's his hand in the shot.
Okay.
He also plays a guy running in between Tim Bueller's car and in the background. So just a couple quick pops in.
That.
Ryan, you go and then
I just had 3 quick thoughts. For one,
we'll go one and then one and one.
I got one too.
Mia Sara is so fucking hot. She's
so
fine.
Smoke
Smoke show in this movie.
Woo.
How did she not have a bigger career? She's like in this and like the Ridley Scott movie Legend before, I think, and then that's
it. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, she's pretty good acting too. Like, I don't know why she didn't have a bigger career. I'm just curious about that. I just thought she was a smoke show.
A lot of things.
I wanted to mention that.
So there was extra film for the running scene, but Matthew Broderick really messed up his knee as part of that filming of sequence. But so that like obviously got cut down to what it is. But the intent was, and I think there was some extra film of that whole running through the neighborhood to get back.
Okay.
Whoa.
The jersey Cameron wears is Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe. Gordy. Number 9.
It's a sweet jersey.
It's a sweet jersey.
If I could maybe a quick picking of that, why is a Chicago guy wearing a Detroit Red Wings jersey?
There's
That's
a
a little
reasons
interesting.
But it's Gordy.
It's also
Gordy.
If it was a Blackhawks, which I will say, like John Hughes putting
both are iconic jerseys.
John Hughes puts the Griswold
Hull in there,
Blackhawks
Bobby
jersey
Hull.
in Christmas Vacation. I mean, that's beautiful. I'm just saying, it's a great jersey. It's the red Ferrari is absolutely choice.
Oh, it's cherry.
It's
as he
beautiful.
says, so choice.
Beautiful car.
Cameron would no longer have any nuts. I don't care. I don't give a shit if your father's the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, you're fucked.
You fucking pushed at that time probably $100,000 car out the back, totaled.
Yeah.
And you broke the window too. Another grand on top of it, maybe. You're dead. It's over.
You better pray and say it was a home invasion.
Also, like he says in the movie, like, you think I couldn't stop Ferris Bueller? Like, literally, like, when he's taking the red car, there's a bevy of nice cars you could have taken.
Yeah.
There's a Cadillac, I think. There's like a Mercedes-Benz or a Jaguar or something. Like,
Jaguar.
There are plenty of cars outside of that Ferrari that you definitely would have been believable. And
I mean, he could have taken the worst one of that, and that still would have been nice.
I know they're also,
it's
kind of picking it, but kind of not. Like, it's funny that they take the car down to the city and then they put it in a parking garage and they take cabs everywhere. Like, wouldn't you want to drive? I mean, I guess there's no parking.
Where are you going to park?
Well, it's so much easier to just get around, man. If you just cab
that's I was thinking about it. Okay, that's fine.
I believe somebody sent him a strippergram. Like when I hear you're feeling so blue.
Yeah. Nurse
I'm the
plug,
nurse who likes
stuff.
to. Yeah. Door.
I think it was a strippergram. The license plate nods. You guys hear this one? So in the
for the Ferrari?
License plate, no, just check all the license plates throughout it. There's a Christmas, like abbreviated versions of it. Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
A lot of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is something else. I don't think it's exactly that, but all nods to his other movies. And then Cameron's license plate on the Ferrari is Nervous, and our VOUS.
That's what I thought you were pointing to.
Like, well, that's a nod to the nod to the character, I believe. And then I'll also just mention the Johnny Depp was, I guess, considered for the Ferris Bueller role.
Yeah,
I think it's very believable.
Yeah,
though, like he could have done well there. And then the outside shot of picking up Sloan is actually in front of Glenbrook North. And my dad taught Glenbrook South for like 40 years.
Well,
so.
when they were kind of lakeside where Cameron's laying down on the brick, that's in Evanston.
Oh, cool.
Sorry about that.
I like that they had a reference to the movie Alien, and this is the same year that Aliens came out, so there wasn't any aliens to mention. So I thought that was kind of like interesting that at this point in time, it's probably one of the last times there was no aliens and just Alien, and it was mentioned in a movie. I thought that was interesting. And that the whole thing with the keyboard and the coughing and the sick sounds was a pretty that was good interesting way to.
I mean,
cover.
He's a genius at how to cover up his tracks. For sure.
And Cameron was like 30 years old when they filmed this.
Yes,
by the way, that was also something.
I mean, I don't look at.
He doesn't look super old, but he definitely looks older.
I don't look at Matthew Broderick being unplayable, but I think you can still tell he's old. Mia Sloan is actually 18 at the time. She actually looks
that checks,
18.
Yeah,
but really everybody else is kind of like Jennifer Grey is
Broderick
like,
has such a baby face.
Definitely too old to be playing a high school girl. But
a little bit. I bought it, but I could see what you're saying.
Just not. It's not the greatest. It's not just. Cameron.
I would agree. I think Jennifer is the only one that really,
But she's so good. So
I'm good with it.
Yeah.
She was. I mean, heyday in the '80s for sure.
All right, I say let's just put a bow on it then. Yeah. Let's give our recommendations, own, stream, skip, final grades. Who wants to start?
I'll go. This is definitely up there with John Hughes. Amazing works. It's for sure an own. I own it.
What'd you go last week with Breakfast Club? You went like 9.5 or something. What was it?
Breakfast Club was up there. I think it was 9.
You went pretty high.
Honestly, I think it was 9.3 or it was 9.7.
Yeah, it was.
It might have been 9.7.
I split the difference.
Okay, so 9.5. I'm gonna go this one definitely 9.5. I don't think I said 9.5 last week, but I'm gonna go 9.5 with Ferris Bueller. This is easily, one of those things that again it doesn't really even pertain so much to Chicago. It hits home more because it's Chicago,
right?
But it's the essential if you had the day off and you want to go out and
do it right,
and do it right and get out there and say, hey, I lived that day.
Yes.
This is something you got to see.
Bronson had mentioned off the pod, but I'll just say this is definitely, if you think of what are Chicago movies, this is on the short list of ones you would think of.
I'm going to kind of reverberate what you said. I think this was done wonderfully. I think it was done masterfully. 9.4. Like I said, there's a few parts, a few different scenes that I might have done something different, or maybe it would have hit different for me. But incredible work.
Is it an own it, scream
own
it?
Own it for sure.
Okay.
Go nuts with this. John Hughes is great.
Going own, I do own it. Now, this or Uncle Buck are my favorite John Hughes movies. I might give Uncle Buck a slight edge.
Got John Candy.
Yeah.
I love
now, is this movie a better movie than Uncle Buck? That's the question I need to ask myself for the grade.
I think as a movie,
it
overall,
probably is slightly better. So I gave Uncle Buck a 9.1. So I'm going to give this a 9.3.
Okay.
Slightly higher.
You could have gone 9.2, but I don't know.
But I would say I probably would put on Uncle Buck over this, but they're both amazing.
Ooh, see, I could go with either one of them.
It's I think
interchangeable.
It's very negligible. They're both amazing. I think, as you said, John Candy makes Uncle Buck what
John
it is.
Candy is the quintessential, you
He's
want
perfect.
to see that for a comedy. This Ferris Bueller's Day Off is something where you go, there's really good acting in this.
It's more well-rounded of a
I'll say this: you could
movie.
pop in and out of Ferris Bueller better than you could pop in and out.
Probably,
of Uncle Buck.
yeah, probably. But I like John Candy more than I like anybody in Ferris Bueller. So, but I see what you're saying. Yeah. So, Bobby, I believe you have next.
Salute you.
The
And
final.
I'm actually, I was teasing this around with Woj at one point. I was going to do The Princess Bride, but I'm going a different alternative.
Oh shit! Surprise!
So, Short
Breaking
Circuit.
news.
Short Circuit.
Short
Circuit.
Circuit. All right.
Johnny Five.
What a fucking
I've never seen it. I know of it. No, actually, no.
Wait. Solid diversion.
I think I actually might have seen it in Casper growing. I think I have seen it actually in Casper.
Short Circuit. You're gonna enjoy it.
Short
it's a great
Circuit.
movie.
That was Steve
Finishes
Gutenberg or no? Is that not?
We'll go over it. We got
we're gonna do a whole podcast.
Yeah, a whole
so
podcast about it.
But yeah, okay. So we got Short Circuit to finish up the trifecta. Album was Blink 182.
Take off your pants jacket.
Take off your pants jacket. Solid one.
All right.
And we are gonna fucking get after it, boys. Coming up, this is 92.
We're getting close.
We're getting
Ticking
close to 100, and then it's fucking on.
I cannot wait for fantasy football.
Oh, dude, we're chomping at the bit. All
Excited
right,
for it.
the Journeymen Lounge podcast. We'll ride again. Over
Love
and
it.
out.
Hey.
Roger.